Hey there, party people. Sarcastic recaps in the house, and today we've got a real sci-fi doozy for you. Strap in for Terra Formars, the movie that's out of this world, literally. In the distant future, Earth's feeling the squeeze from overpopulation like a can about to burst. So what's the genius solution? Mars, baby. We're talking terraforming, giving the red rock a makeover for potential human habitation. Step 1. The mossy magic. Sprinkle some of that green goodness on Mars to crank up the heat, making it as cozy as your grandma's quilt. But how do you spread this cosmic carpet? Genetically modified cockroaches to the rescue. Yep, roaches are the interstellar landscapers here. Jump ahead to the year 2597 in Tokyo, where two miscreants, Komachi and Nano, are running from the wall. Picture a chaotic game of cat and mouse in the city's hustle and bustle, and bam, they're cornered by the fuzz. But hold on to your space helmets, folks, because Dr. Honda and his trusty sidekick just landed in their futuristic ride. What's their gig? They want Komachi and Nano for something big, a Mars mission. The offer? Clean slates for their crimes in exchange for bug-busting duty on Mars. 2 years later, in a plot twist even soap operas would envy, Nano and Komachi, our reformed rogues, find themselves aboard the Biogis 2 spaceship, surrounded by a merry band of ex-cons bound for Mars. Nano, the eternal skeptic, questions whether the ragged team of misfits can find their socks, let alone save humanity. Captain Keisuke Dojima interrupts their existential crisis to announce, guess what, folks? We're landing on Mars. Surprise, surprise. Mars has traded its old-school red look for a trendier green moss carpet as if it got a Martian makeover. Lieutenant Minna unveils her secret weapon, a gadget that sprays Martian bug spray. The mission? Spray the cockroaches into oblivion. Captain Dojima divides the crew into buddy pairs because nothing says teamwork like convicted criminals, and instructs them to test the bug spray. In just 3 hours, they'll gather again, like old friends at a Martian picnic, to pick their dream team. As team members paired up like awkward prom dates, Asuka, the surprise package, insists on joining forces with Ichiro, the computer wise. Captain Dojima, master of diplomacy, agrees without a hitch. After all, who doesn't love some good old crew dynamics? Now let's talk about the plot twist. They stumble upon the Biogis 1, the forgotten spaceship from a decade ago. You can practically feel the Doctor's excitement through your screen. The crew steps onto the Martian surface, armed with bug spray. Seriously, they should have packed more of that stuff. Jen and Maria, though, have a close encounter of the strange kind. 3 colossal cockroach-human hybrids, complete with club-wielding skills, pop up like the worst surprise birthday party ever. I bet they didn't teach the crew about this in their training. So, in a stroke of genius, the Doc decides to drop in via hologram to calm everyone down. He's been planning this superhero insect party for eons, and he's got just the thing to save the day: insect juice. Yep, he's brewed up special shots for each team member, promising they'll be the next Avengers of the insect world. Apparently, these concoctions will turbocharge their DNA with insect awesomeness. But what's the team's reaction? Not exactly a standing ovation. They're more like, can we Uber back to Earth right now? Unfortunately, the cockroaches have other ideas and surround their ship. Enter Godly, the volunteer hero. He boldly steps outside and gives himself a shot of the Doc's special brew. Suddenly, he's mutating faster than a Pokemon in a high-speed evolution. He's now part human, part ground beetle. Hey, at least he's got a cool backstory for parties now. Now our Beetle Flame superhero Lee is basically a human flamethrower. He's shooting fire like it's a summer barbecue. But guess what? These cockroaches are no marshmallows. They're packing some serious punch too. Lee's flames give him a fiery high five, but when the smoke clears, it's like they've just had a spa day. Their exoskeletons are the only things feeling the heat. Then one cockroach decides it's done with this whole superhero showdown, and it takes Lee out the speed of a ninja on roller skates. Just when you thought things couldn't get any cockroaches, another one crashed the spaceship, breaking windows and taking out 2 crew members in the blink of an eye. But fear not, Captain Ant-Man swoops in to save the day. With a shot of that bug juice, he becomes as strong as a bullet ant. They lift things 100 times their weight, in case you didn't know. He smashes the cockroach like a pro wrestler's finishing move, and for a moment, it seems like victory is within reach. But hold on to your helmets, because more roaches are gate-crashing the party. They're rolling in like they own the place, and the crew realizes they're outnumbered, outgunned, and fresh out of luck. Cue panic mode. Engaged. They decide it's time to make a run for it and head back to Earth. But of course, fate has other plans. Their spaceship decides it's on strike today, and the engines throw a tantrum, leaving them grounded. Captain Ant-Man, always the quick thinker, proposes a genius plan. You folks head to Biogis 1 for spare parts, and I'll stick around for a friendly chat with our roach pals. The crew agrees, except for Ichiro, who's opted for some quality bug banter with the captain. Before they embark on their part's mission, Komachi takes a quick detour to bid a fond farewell to Nano's lifeless body. Strangely, he notices some mysterious strings coming out of her mouth. But who has time for that enigma when giant cockroaches demand their attention? The team squeezes into the Mars rover, their trusty chariot, through a swarm of cockroaches. Tezuka, a self-proclaimed bug buster, decides to spice things up. He takes a swig of that bug juice and transforms into a Mackley bug capable of firing gas projectiles that put flamethrowers to shame. With a burst of bug-fueled speed, he rockets the Mars rover through the cockroach chaos. Meanwhile, Captain Bug Battler is waging war against the roaches inside the spaceship. Determined to take control, Captain Bug Battler rushes to the ship's control room. He goes all vacuum cleaner mode, sucking out the oxygen and turning it into a gas chamber for the roaches. His plan works, and the roaches start dropping like... But there's a twist. The lack of oxygen doesn't spare our dear captain and his sidekick Ichiro. They both collapse. Now back in the Mars rover, the team spots something huge closing in on them. They squint their eyes in surprise. It's a tsunami of cockroaches, millions of them, heading their way. Suka, still embracing the bug powers, decides it's not time to wave the white flag just yet. They collide with the roaches, somehow managing to land safely on the other side of the cockroach tidal wave. The gang's in high spirits, ready to roll. But, oh no, the roaches just can't get enough of the action. Another wave is on the horizon, even larger and scarier. It's a roach army, millions strong. Suka realizes he's bitten off more than he can chew, so two brave souls, Maria and Osaku, transform into their hybrid bug forms. The trio gives it their all, but the rover decides to go off-script, somersaulting onto the ground with a dramatic crash. As our three bug warriors are flung to the ground, their comrades inside the rover are knocked out cold. Surprise! The rover's gone into autopilot mode, leading them to their destination ship. Suka, Maria, and Osaku keep fighting the good fight, but alas, it's a bug buffet, and they're on the menu tonight. As the rover's passengers slowly regain consciousness, they find themselves parked at the Big Just One. A couple of team members stand guard outside while the rest venture in. Mina, our resident tech wizard, starts poking around and discovers that the ship's been busy transmitting data to someone back on Earth. But just as they're puzzling over this, the unmistakable sound of gunshots rings out. Outside, the guards are down, courtesy of the cockroaches who've gotten their six-legged mitts on Just One's weaponry. Time for some superhero transformations. Komachi goes all hornet-sized, punching cockroaches like it's going out of style. Jen, on the other hand, goes full Desert Locust mode, jumping high enough to make Spider-Man jealous. And let's not forget Mina, who becomes a praying mantis with a taste for cockroach sushi. With their insect-inspired powers, they make quick work of the cockroaches. In a dramatic twist, we switch to the doctor making a phone call, and surprise, surprise, a cockroach on Mars answers. This ain't your regular cockroach. It's fluent in Japanese and tight with the doctor. They chat, and the doctor lays down the law: stay away from Komachi once he transforms because he's a bug to be reckoned with. After the call, the cockroach sneaks into Bugs 2 and hold onto your lab coats. It transforms into none other than Asuka. Turns out she's been in cahoots with the doc from day one. Her post-transformation superpower? Mind control, just like the emerald cockroach wasp. She's been pulling the strings, making the bugs turn on each other and giving everyone the old switcheroo. First on her hit list, the captain. He's toast. Then she drowns Ichiro, who's also been in on the scheme. His transformation into the Asian Coronomide means he only needs a sip of water to reboot. The doctor's got our gang on a secret mission, and it's a doozy. Their real job? Nab a cockroach egg to beef up Japan's military. Yep, you heard that right. Forget all that cockroach elimination jazz. It was just a smokescreen. So Ichiro and Asuka blast off with a precious egg. But here comes another curveball. That egg hatches mid-flight, popping out not one, but two supercharged cockroaches. Asuka tries to mind control them, but no dice. These bugs are the heavyweight champs of evolution, and they waste no time offing Asuka. Then they hit the bug hotline, calling their cockroach buddies for backup. Cuba's swarm of cockroaches launching themselves onto the ship, sending it into a tailspin, crash landing right next to Bugs 1. Things just went from bad to worse. Komachi and the gang face off against the mother of all cockroach armies. Komashi's like, hold my syringe, and injects himself with another dose of the bug juice. He's evolving faster than a Pokemon, and things are about to get wild. But these evolved super roaches, tough cookies. They pull off a gruesome move, tearing Mina's arm off, and she's out of the game. Jin decides he wants in on the power-up party, and Komachi's not far behind. He's on his third shot. With their souped-up bug powers, they start squashing roaches left and right. But these critters are persistent. They take to the skies, swarming Jin. It's like a bug apocalypse up there. They're relentless, and their numbers seem endless. Then Jin gets a light bulb moment. The roach ringleaders are the real problem. So he goes all in, jabbing himself multiple times, speeding up his transformation and basically making it so there's no turning back. He takes a superpowered kick and sends one roach leader's head rolling, but now he's tapped out. No more juice left in the bug-busting tank. Just when it seems like our bug-busting heroes are about to become cockroach chow, a magical glowing savior swoops in. It's none other than Nano, all glammed up in her final form, radiating stardust and whatnot. Komachi makes a daring dash toward her, but those pesky roaches try to spoil the reunion. Little do they know, Nano has been holding onto some explosive secrets. That glowing dust she spread, boom, it's not just for show. It turns out to be tiny explosives, and when they go off, it's like the 4th of July, cockroach style. Jin, being the hero he is, swoops in and rescues Komachi. But Nano doesn't make it. She sacrificed herself to save the day, leaving our bug-busting duo to carry on her legacy. In a twist of fate, Komachi wakes up to find that Jin has undergone a complete insect makeover. Jin, now fully embracing his insect side, urges Komachi to head back to Earth without him. As Komachi makes his way to the ship, he stumbles upon the leader of the cockroaches, who's hanging on by a thread. Instead of delivering a final blow, Komachi shows a glimmer of kindness and spares the cockroach's life. Inside the ship, he discovers Ichiro still kicking. Ichiro repays the favor by taking out the cockroach, sneaking up behind Komachi. Together, they make their grand escape to Earth, leaving the cockroaches behind gazing after them. But this drama isn't over yet. Back on Earth, the Doctor realizes that Ichiro has gone all hacker mode and spilled the beans about their bug-infested adventure to the whole world. Panic mode sets in for the Doctor's assistant, who turns out to be a double agent for the Japanese government. In a tense showdown, she points her gun at the Doctor, but he's no pushover. He pulls off some nifty moves, dodging bullets with a protective barrier like he's auditioning for a superhero movie. Then, in a final diabolical twist, he eliminates his assistant with some sneaky poison that was stashed away in the lab for a rainy day. As they journey back to Earth, Ichiro is determined to blow the lid off this whole operation. When the conversation turns to their plans back on home turf, Komachi has a heartfelt mission in mind. He wants to create memorial tombs for all those who perished on their Martian escapade, a fitting tribute to their sacrifice. If you've enjoyed this wild cosmic ride, hit subscribe for more mind-bending tales. Ring the notification bell to stay updated and show some channel love with a like. Thanks for tuning in.